Hello, everyone, and welcome to Package Price Sell, building an offer to maximize revenue. So today we're going to discuss how to build offers to earn more retention and better engage your clients. I'm Maxime Sigouin, founder and CEO of Fit Vegan Coaching. We've helped over 800 people in 20 different countries completely transform their life on a whole food plant-based lifestyle. I've been a panelist with TZ Collective powered by ABC Fitness before, and I'm happy to be back as a moderator today. So we have an awesome panel with us. So I'm happy to introduce our three panelists. We have Amanda Nigg, aka FarmFit Mama. She is the founder of FarmFit Training. Her programs are not just about physical fitness. They encompass a holistic approach focusing on mental resilience, nutrition, and overall well-being. We're also joined by Ashley Poladian, who is the protein snack queen, an evidence-based fitness coach, nutritionist, and food assembler, sharing easy, healthy, and high-protein recipes for women. And Felicia Romero, who is the founder of the 10K Accelerator. She is on a mission to help women scale their online coaching business to create freedom and wealth that they desire. So welcome to all three of you. So to start us off, we're going to talk a little bit about niche. So how many tries did it take you all to find your ideal packaging and offering in your business? Let's kick it off with Ashley.
How many tries? I'm not sure. I would say it took years. I think it's a gradual process and it continues to be. You're finding your voice, right? Your message, most importantly, what you enjoy doing, I think takes time. And it's constantly evolving, hopefully. So years.
A few years to fade out. Awesome. Felicia.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's such a great question because, I think one of the number one things that holds a lot of people back, especially in the online space, is the indecisiveness and the time it takes for them to actually make a decision. So I'm all about trial and error. I don't know if you are familiar with human design, but I'm a generator on the human design and I work really well with trial and error. And so the way that I sort of take a look at who I want to work with is, yes, it definitely takes years. And I want to say that the evolution of who you help, I think for a lot of people, they're afraid to jump in because they think that they're going to work with that specific client for a really long time. And I want to tell you, it changes as you change. So I used to be a competitor. I was on the Olympia stage. I've placed top 3 in the world. So I used to own a gym and I used to help women step on stage. And when I sold my gyms, I took that to the online space. So oftentimes we tend to lean into where we're having the conversations. So oftentimes I would always recommend, taking a look at why people are contacting you and what is your specialty. And I want to tell you that that's going to change over time, as you change. So I would say I agree with Ashley. It's always changing as I'm changing. And I would say that it's absolutely okay to pivot as you pivot.
Beautiful. Amanda.
I had a really different start, I guess, compared to both these women. I found my niche right away. First and foremost, I give the ag industry tools and strategies to lose weight, build muscle, improve their mental health while creating a sustainable lifestyle. And for me, my mission statement came to me before I even launched my program. So I was a little different boat where I noticed this massive need within the agriculture space and nobody was there filling that need. And that's something that I went through personally, especially in 2020 when we lost our home to a house fire the day before the national pandemic. And so for me, diving into my fitness journey and figuring out hey, nobody's tackling that bridge between physical and mental health, especially in the ag space. And someone that lives on a 5th generation farm, if you guys look out my window, there's a big red barn. It was just something that came naturally to me. So I think the biggest advice I can give to anybody, especially is first and foremost, you do want to niche down because you want to figure out who your ideal avatar is or who you want to have in your program. And if you don't know who you want to have in your program, then how do you know how big of a net you're casting out or how big of an audience that you need to gear your content for? And so for me, it was just hey, I know I want to work with those in rural America or the rural countryside. Even we're already international, but I really wanted to work with those in the ag space. And so when you niche down, don't just focus on hey, if I want to work with just men or women, be more broad in that aspect. Like I train men and women, but also finding that ideal avatar right off the gate will help you be able to drive your content and your creation towards where you want to go with your business as well.
Beautiful. So just to add kind of as a nuance to that, when it comes to kind of creating your packages and the offer that you're making to your avatar and to your niche, how did you come about refining that offer? Is it the same from when you started, or has it evolved throughout the years?
For me, it actually, when creating my program and stuff like that, I knew exactly how I wanted to launch it. Yes, my program has evolved. It's definitely, there's been a couple massive pivots in my business. At the end of the day, I wanted to make sure that everything that we educate is backed up by science, and I'm giving people a solution to their problems, but also explaining it. Because so many times when people join a fitness program, a lot of trainers out there don't actually educate the science and why behind what they're teaching. And I think that's super important. And that's something that we've done since the beginning is we really educate, like, hey, why nutrition is super important, what it does to your body, what I do something called macronutrients. So we really educate on, high protein. I know Ashley does high protein as well, or Felicia, but, like why protein is important for the body, complex carbohydrates, healthy fats. It's more about the education process. And so for us, like right out the beginning, like I was a one-man show when I launched my business. And I didn't hire coaches until later that year, just because it grew so rapidly that I was the bottleneck in my business. And so I think for someone starting out is once you niche down and find that target audience, maybe one-on-one coaching in the beginning is great because it will help you with testimonials. It'll help you be able to build that connection with your clientele, but also that feedback. That feedback is very valuable in being able to pivot your business in ways to where now we are more of a scalable approach where we still offer or bits of my one-on-one coaching, but now it's more of like a group style. And so that pivot wouldn't have happened if I didn't start out with just one-on-one clients and taking on clients directly and understanding like, hey, what is the massive gap where I can help them get off that hamster wheel of diet culture and really be able to excel in what they want to accomplish for their goals and their ambitions and where they want to be in life. And that's different for everybody too. Like some people will want more energy, other people want more guidance and hitting a certain goal. And so you got to really understand that as well when it comes to your clients.
Yeah. So it pivoted as you scaled, basically. The model changed as you became the bottleneck. Do you find that to be similar for you, Ashley and Felicia?
Amanda, that was so great. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely, so, I was a personal trainer for 15 plus years, 16 years. I owned gyms. And so I sold my last gym in 2018. And I don't know, I know that, a lot of your audience obviously might be still working in person and want to build an online business, or maybe want to go into online from the get-go. But for me, I had to learn how to create value online because I only knew how to do that by trading time for money. I only knew how to do that by helping a person and like helping someone in person. And so my biggest thing was like, okay, how am I going to take that same, my value, like the things that I can create, the things that I can help people with, how am I going to transfer that to the online space? So for me, it was working with people one-on-one online. And I also knew for me, I wanted to maximize my time and scale my income without adding more time to my plate, right? Because I only knew the trading time for money business model. And so what I always tell a lot of my clients is like, figure out the business model that's going to work for you and your lifestyle. Because after a while, if you're taking on one-on-one clients, you're going to get yourself stuck in the same position that you were when I was doing like personal training. So I started to create like massive group programs. And so and again, evolved over time. And back to what Amanda had mentioned, I saw a need for something in what I was helping women with was obsessive dieting, obsessive compulsive eating, because I came from a competition background. And because I had healed myself, I had gone through all of these different things with my own health, I knew, wow, diet isn't always the answer. And I was able to create a program that involved a lot of mindset and self-acceptance and self-love and really sort of squash the diet culture and that mentality. And my program was able to do that, but it was based off of my own experiences and what I knew I could help women with And so that just, again, evolved over time. It was one-on-one at first, and then it grew into a group program. It's called the Diet Dropout. I ran that for years before I pivoted into helping fitness coaches do the same. But yeah, for me, it was just really learning how to create value in the online space, because if you're a coach that's doing that in person, that was one of the biggest struggles for me, is like, oh no, I have to be there in person. I have to help them. I have to hand them the weights. And that just isn't the case. So I had to really learn that. And that came through, if I'm being honest, mentorship and taking action.
Yeah, that's a hard lesson to learn. It takes a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ashley.
Well said, both of you. I mean, I echo everything that you say. I think, you know, like I was saying with the first question, it continues to be this evolution with yourself and also with your business. When you start out, it is so easy to just duplicate what you're doing as a in-person coach online, and then realizing like what works and what doesn't work, right? I think for a long time, I was trying to bring the skills that I had one-on-one in person online, and realizing that it doesn't totally translate. So Felicia, what you were saying with how to really find how to communicate value in an online setting, especially when people can just check out, or really trying to pivot and find ways to engage clients online. And then when you get to a point where, hey, okay, I can't take on this many clients, you're in that same position, like you said, Felicia, learning how to scale that in a way that still delivers value, still educates, because I'm really big on educating as well, but also fosters accountability as well. So totally, I think as I've evolved as a coach, I've also evolved as a businesswoman in my business.
Yeah. So I think a lot of the lessons here is to, once you start with something, you're not committed to a lifetime to it. Being open to evolving with it is going to be important. So, when you talk about, finding your niche, finding your ideal client, it can be a game changer for a lot of businesses. So how did y'all identify your target niche, and how did you step in that position for yourself as a figure of authority in that space? How did you manage to put yourself as a figure of authority within the space of the ideal client that you wanted to attract? We can kick it off. We'll just go back the other way. We'll go back with Ashley.
This was very organic for me, honestly. It kind of happened through my own journey. I am my customer. I was somebody and am somebody who cared about health from an early age. I cared about performance. I cared about body composition. So a lot of, my niche is a result of kind of what I needed, and what I went through, and the trials and tribulations that I encountered on the way. And then of course, iterating and, bringing science into the mix. But yeah, I think for me, it was certainly this organic process of my own journey, and iterating and testing and finding what worked for me. Healthy foods, rich in protein, easy to make. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Felicia, go back to you.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing, Ashley. Okay, so I'm going to actually speak to the person that really needs to hear this right now, mainly because I know I was in that same boat. Even though I was my own niche and I was in a place where I was like, gosh, I can help all these women. I've been through it. I still experienced imposter syndrome, mainly because I was comparing myself to other women and other businesses online that were doing really well. And so I just want to emphasize this. I'm a Dr. Joe Dispenza fan. Love him. You have to start showing up today as the person, the woman, the man, the coach that you want to be right now. Right. And so no one is going to say, hey, you are an authority now and you are qualified and now you can do these things. You have to show up as that now. And it has to show up not only in how you help people, but also in your content, right? And how you're showing up online and how you're attracting people. And so when it comes to niche, you don't always have to be your ideal client. You're truly just solving a problem, right? You are the solution to something that you see in the industry, that there is that gap, and you are the bridge to that gap, whatever it may be, from where they are to where they want to be. And so I take account, my experience. I have degrees. I have my master's in exercise science, and I'm not telling you that you got to get more degrees and you got to get your master's. But what I'm saying is, if you feel like you are authority in a certain thing and you're getting those questions, and, I always tell people, if I were to say, hey, can you step on stage tomorrow and talk about this one thing for 15, 20 minutes, what would that be? Right? What could you educate people on? You don't need a script. You don't need to prepare. Like, what could you talk about, like, in the back of your hand? Like, I literally just ran a sales meeting. I just invested in a new franchise, a boutique fitness studio. And I just led a sales meeting right before this. And I didn't need a script. I didn't need to go through and learn how to teach sales because I'm embodied in it. I already know it. I can teach it. Right? And so for a lot of these coaches, you have to lean into that and show up as the authority that you are. And again, your niche is going to change. I can't tell you how many, I call myself the queen of pivot because I have pivoted so many times in the last 10 years. But one thing that hasn't changed is my brand and my core values. My brand and my core values have stayed true across the board, but the person that I've helped has been in different stages on their journey, from their fitness journey to now helping coaches, from helping beginner coaches who want to make their first 10K month to helping coaches that are like literally on 50, literally creating their first $500,000 a year. So, you have to speak to the person and where they're at, and that's going to change through time. So I say, lean into who you want to be now, step up as the authority that you already are. You don't need permission, and start showing up as that person today.
Beautiful. Amanda, your turn.
Passion. I think it comes down to passion. What Ashley and Felicia both said in a roundabout way is passion. If you're passionate about anything, you can be authority in any space. And you got to have that drive and motivation behind it. Like, I can tell both these ladies are super passionate about what they educate and teach online and what they do and how they create it, and I think something that I wanted to highlight is Felicia mentioned in the last question is finding a mentor. So like hiring a business mentor, like I've had a business mentor, like, yes, I'm super passionate about what I do and bridging that gap between, physical and mental health within the agriculture community. But at the same time, I've had business mentors like help me be able to scale my business to where it is today. And that's, with business, there's gonna be ups and downs. It's part of business. There's gonna be days where you're rocking and rolling, and then there's days where you just want to hide and not show up. But being passionate about what you're doing and believing in your purpose and where you are at in your process, like you're not gonna have all the answers right out the gate. You're not gonna have it all figured out, but that's part of business. You got to be humbled enough to be a student in your own system and be willing and eager and have that passion behind what you're creating. Like, you could have all these certifications. No offense, Felicia, your certifications are very impressive, but you can have all these certifications, but at the end of the day, like you have to be able to be willing to be a student in your own system. And I think that's something that Ashley touched base about, how she organically fell into that position is if you don't see yourself going through your own system, then it's time to pivot. Like you got to love what you do and you got to have that passion behind what you're doing. And you have to be driven into that niche that it's like, hey, I get to do this for a living. Like how freaking cool is this? Like this is what I get to do. And there's still days where I, just like Felicia, have imposter syndrome where I'm like, I'm talking to 12,000 people on stage right now. Like, I don't have an MBA, but at the same time, I have a ton of freaking education behind what I'm teaching because I've researched the shit out of it. It's, again, that passion that's going to drive you to that next step. And if you're passionate about becoming a coach, if you want to become that game changer, start to show up today. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be this, yellow brick road. There's going to be times where you take a pivot and it's going to totally flop in your face. But again, the only time you're going to fail, just like clients, is the moment you decide not to show up for yourself.
Can I share something a little bit more on this topic? And mainly around pivot. I think it's so important what Amanda said, because it reminds me of a time in my life when I pivoted I sold my gyms and I pivoted to the online space, and I was helping competitors and helping people with their macros. And so a lot of the conversations I was having was around body fat, losing weight, and all of those things. And Amanda mentioned something about passion. And it's so true, because I remember the moment where I was like dreading coaching calls because I got really tired of talking about macros. Not, I mean, I think they're important, but I just wasn't passionate about it anymore. And I was like, wow, I just don't love helping people lose weight. I really think that they need help with their mindset first versus like the next diet that they need to be on. And so my program started to shift, and I started to have more conversations online about changing your mindset and habits and who you're being versus what you're doing. And I really enjoyed those conversations, and my content started to change. And then, through time, I started to get more and more coaches and like, Felicia, wow, how did you build your online business? Like, how did you do this? And so I started to have those conversations, which I started to naturally pivot and started to help fitness coaches. So I think, lean into, and I love that you said the word passion, because I realized, wow, I'm not passionate about macros anymore, but I really love talking about this thing. And it's going to show in your content. It's going to show in how you help people. And I would be doing people a disservice if I continued to show up not passionate about macros. I would be a horrible coach, and they also wouldn't get the results that they wanted. So I would say, trust yourself, lean into your gut, lean into your intuition, and continue to build your brand, because your brand online, no one can take that from you. If you are building community and you're building your brand, like look at Joanna Gaines, for instance. Like, she has Magnolia. She could sell paint. She could sell a mug. She could sell a house. Like, her brand is that of like home and lifestyle, right? So like really lean into building that brand online.
Beautiful. I'll chime in a little bit on that one because you guys got me fired up on it. So when I started originally, I played the fitness game, because I think a lot of people that might be listening that are just getting started with their fitness business are like, oh, this is how influencers are doing it online. I got to post this type of content. I got to talk about macros. I got to talk about what's the best exercise for your abs. And you start to play that game. And like Felicia mentioned, at one point you kind of get burnt out. And you're like, this is not who I am. I'm just trying to do this so I can get started online. And eventually you take on enough clients that financially you're in a better off position where you're like, you know what, I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about and say the things that I want to say. And eventually you start to attract the best clients ever that are such a pleasure to work with. And so I don't think there's a shortcut to it. I think that you do have to kind of get to that place of, oh yeah, macros and training is fun, but ultimately this is the thing that I'm passionate about. And hey, I coach women between 60 and 80 years old and men between 60 and 80 years old. I'm a 30-year-old athletic guy. No one would have thought that. I wouldn't have thought that. I was coaching 30-year-old guys to get six-pack before. So if you just talk about the things that you like, you're going to attract the best clients possible. All right. Let's pivot to packaging. Let's pivot to packaging, building offers for client attraction, engagement, and retention. So what are your core offers for your business right now? And what is your strategy with your offers to attract new clients and engage existing clients? So we'll kick it off with Amanda.
Just like I mentioned earlier, my business actually just did a massive pivot. So like our core offer is actually something that I'm super excited about. So what I did was when I first started out I've always been online. So I have a little different path. And I guess, I don't know if Ashley's been online always, but I always started online because I live in rural America. And I know that for me, that's the only way I could reach my clientele base. And so when I started online, like I said, I started with one-on-one coaching. And I took snippets of that where I've had such huge success that I was like, okay, I need to break this down into like a funnel system that makes sense for a client journey. And so for us, like I created something called FarmFit Methods. And I broke up the nutrition and I broke up the training, because sometimes when clients come into a fitness journey, they try to eat the whole elephant right off the gate. And that's where you get people that are super overwhelmed. All of a sudden they go backwards. They can't take on information because they got so much information coming in one ear and out the other. And so we really simplified the process to where like, okay, if you come in through the FarmFit Methods training, we're going to focus on training. And then in 45 days, then we're going to start to introduce that nutrition component. And so it's more of a gradual process. It's just breaking down that system. and making it easier to where the client's path, it makes sense for them as they go through the program, where they get excited because they start to see these changes and they start to see how their body's changing and their mindset changing. The habits are starting to stick. Felicia talked about habits. Habits are a super important part. And then, of course, as they dive through that that physical transformation, their mental health is going to impact as well. And next thing you know, they're going to peel back these layers of this unstoppable force that they didn't realize they really had. And so my advice to anybody is, like, especially when you're creating a core offer, look about what you love to educate on. Is it habits? Is it training? Is it nutrition? And then lean into that first. And get that system set in place to where you can start to incorporate your other ideals into that process as well.
I love it. So that compounding effect, taking it one step at a time and just compounding. Beautiful.
Yep.
All right. Felicia.
Yay. I love this question so much. This is like where I love sitting with a client and just like mapping out their customer journey. So first things first, coach watching this right now, I love high ticket sales. Lean into high ticket sales. I love it. And this approach that I'm going to share with you is very doable and has allowed me to literally scale to $500,000 a year business. So one of the things that I really emphasize is having a signature program, and having a signature program that actually gets results. So if you've put people through, if you have a one-on-one coaching program right now and you put people through it, amazing. You know that you can get sales and you know that you can get people results. Awesome. Now take that formula of how you help someone get results and create a signature program out of it so that you can scale it. Because my jam is, now when I say high ticket can be anything from $1,000 to $10,000 or more, right? So my sweet spot is around $2,997 was for like a 3-4 month program. And so what I would suggest is take that program that you did with the one-on-one coaching and create your signature method. How do you help people? And create a really catchy name, a really catchy signature name. Highly recommend that you read the book, $100 Million Leads Offer by Alex Hormozi. He's going to break it down a little bit better than what we can in this amount of time. But create your method that you are known for, that you can start selling on social media and create, a funnel essentially too. And when I say funnel, like we all have sales funnels. Like we could literally just get a DM and have a sales process in the DMs and that's a funnel, right? So what I want you to do is then create that signature program, package it up. How long is it? What are the deliverables? What do you help people with? What is the transformation that you're creating for that person, right? And then what you're going to do, now I used to run ads. I don't love ads. I don't do them anymore because I love the organic sales and I love the relationships that I'm creating in my social media and on my through emails as well. So create some sort of challenge, masterclass, create some sort of small win. Okay. Some sort of small win for those people. So you're bringing them in and then you're going to turn that masterclass or that challenge on evergreen. And what I mean by that is it's just running without you. So it can run every month. It can run year round. People are coming in, getting that quick win, that fast result. And then you're taking them through some sort of sales funnel. This could be through email. This could be through Instagram DM. And you're going to track that. And you're going to take people into your then group program that's now, we've already gotten people results over. And now you're building community. You can obviously build the community through Trainerize, create groups in Trainerize. You can build the community through Facebook if you want. But you're going to continue to grow that because the number one thing that I see a lot of coaches struggle with is consistency in sales. They have a big month and then the following months, they have no sales because they're focused on that one person. What I love to create is consistent sales because it's one thing having a big like pay in full month. But then it's quite another when the next few months you don't have any money coming in. And what I love, the big flex for me is reoccurring revenue and having consistent people come in every single month. And this process, after I've perfected it, has allowed me to do that. So I'm not wondering if I'm going to have another $15,000 a month or $20,000 a month or my first $5,000 a month. Maybe you're just starting out. So, and then work that system. Do not give up. Don't do it for 2 months and then give up. Like literally commit to it. Like right now, watching this, January 2025 is around the corner. Implement this starting January and commit to it the whole year and watch your business change.
I'll just tap on something from a financial standpoint. Monthly recurring revenue is the best. And one of my mentors told me, don't live on the PIF. So just be smart with your money. All right.
Yes.
So basically membership program is what you guys are talking about in a nutshell.
We'll talk about that in the next point.
The newbies, like, yes.
Awesome. Ash, I'll pass it on to you for this one. Then we'll move on to high ticket, low ticket.
Yeah. Well, for this question, yeah, I would say I have core offerings, but they change a little bit based on the client needs. They are high ticket, and they combine nutrition, exercise, and identity and habit formation. So what I did wrong in the beginning was kind of, what Amanda was saying was like, you just kind of throw everything at the person, right? Workouts, diet, this is what you need to achieve your goals. And what I found over time was how your habits really kind of run your success. If anyone hasn't read Atomic Habits, it's an excellent book, and that really helped me kind of hone in on my process. Right now, core offerings are nutrition and workouts, and then nutrition only, both with a heavy foundation in building healthy habits and self-efficacy. So when a client comes on, we talk and we decide what the best way to go is. Is that nutrition and workouts? Before they do anything in nutrition, with nutrition or with workouts, we're focusing for 4 weeks on self-reflection, self-assessment, self-limiting beliefs, really just doing like a full retro on their lives and kind of starting to build that like self that they want to become in this process. Because I think a lot of times people will come on and they'll hire me and they'll say, I just want to lose 10 pounds, or I just had a baby and I want to do this. And my message to a lot of the people who come to me is, you're not doing this to diet. You're doing this for a complete lifestyle change, right? Because what happens when you achieve your goal? If this isn't who you are, if you're not implementing habits, if you're not stepping into this identity, this new identity, then your goals don't stick. So for me, that's kind of how I differentiate based on client goals. It's one main system that I have, but based on the clients coming in, I think there's a little bit of fine tuning that happens.
So actually I lied. Before we go to high ticket, low ticket, one quick round of question of like, what is your favorite engagement hack from using the ABC Trainerize app? Is it like the group chat, the check-ins, challenges? So we'll go in reverse. I'll pass it back to you, Ashley.
So I use the habit feature for check-ins. I lay out their check-in on their calendars, and then I send an automated message on that check-in day. And the questions are super open-ended. They're diverse, and I think it really, really helps to engage my clients. Love both those features put together.
Same. Love that. One more thing to what we were just speaking about, just really quick, because I know that it could be really helpful for someone starting out, is just mapping out your customer journey. So really being clear on how, when someone enters your world, like what they're going through. And actually this could be part of the customer journey of what you do inside Trainerize. Is when I was really scaling my group program Diet Dropout, I would create accountability groups. Because let's say I have, I launch a group program, let's say there's 50 people in that group program. I break them up into 4 or 5 mini groups for accountability, because they're getting accountability from me, and I have some other coaches who are also, subcontractors helping me out. But it really helps to kind of be in that smaller group, and you can create that, right in Trainerize, where you have all of those like group settings. I actually did it. I still do corporate wellness. I create it with my corporate wellness clients. Like, it's really helpful. So I love that for engagement.
Beautiful. All right, Amanda.
I kind of use it all. I have a master group chat. I'm all about community. The biggest thing is like a fitness journey is a journey for yourself, but it doesn't have to be by yourself. And what I mean by there is like, if a client can connect with another client going through the same transformation, but obviously they're different transformations, but they have they're going in a fitness journey. And sometimes a fitness journey can be very lonesome, especially when you're the only person in your house going through it. And so I love using group challenges. We have habit challenges that we do every month. We also have, like, I would say I don't utilize the auto messaging so much because I've trained my coaches to be more personable and message them directly because they're in their profiles. But we engage in a lot of things. And so I would say my favorite thing is definitely the ability to create habit challenges, but also groups. My biggest advice is definitely utilize that community space, but also use those habit challenges. You know, it's fun. It's something you can do every month. Like every month we have a new habit challenge that comes out to help spark engagement, you know, and help build that consistency and to build on those habits. So, yeah, utilize everything and anything, I guess.
Beautiful. I'll add one to that as well. Group chats, absolutely love it. We have a group chat because every month we donate to support cancer patients through their treatment journey. And so it's a donation on behalf of all of our clients. So we post it all on there, and then members go in and, you know, donate additionally to support that patient. So it helps to build a community around our core mission. And then there's a feature also, you guys, you know, it tells you the client did completed 50 workouts with you, completed 100 workouts. So I got custom coins made that say, congratulations, 50 workout with Fit Vegan behind. So we have a 50, 100 workout, 200 and 400 workout, and a congratulations, you're a Fit Vegan. And then so as they kind of hit these milestones, they send it to us and then we mail them the coin. And once they accumulate all of them, they get like a big gift card to go to our apparel store. So we found a way to kind of build community through those little coins with that feature.
I'm totally stealing that idea. I love it.
So good.
I just had a client hit 700 workouts with me, and I was like, oh my God, I created 700 workouts. Like, holy shit. But at the same time, I'm like, how can I make them feel special? I love that, actually.
Yeah. I know if you make it like 100, 200, 400, 800, 1,000, and they're like, well, I want the 800 coin. I want the 1,000 coin. And then they stay longer.
That's
So
cool.
a little renewal trick for you guys at the same time.
Stealing that.
All right. So let's talk about pricing strategies, high ticket versus low ticket offer. So what is your take on those pricing models, and how did you decide which one would work best for your business and target? So for the sake of continuing this conversation, can we establish a baseline of what you guys consider high ticket and consider low ticket? Because for some people, $200 a month could be considered high ticket. I would consider that low ticket. Yeah.
That's
so would you say
ticket.
like below 400 is low ticket, above 400 is high ticket, or would you put that benchmark at 5 or 3?
I put it at like anything below 1,000 is low ticket.
I would say per month.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
my
base
month, that's a different thing.
Per month.
I would say low ticket would be, you know, $500 a month would be considered low ticket. Anything above that I would consider high ticket.
Okay, perfect.
Same.
Awesome.
I have a couple thoughts on this question though. You know, this is one of the things that and I just want to share. I'm a storyteller. I like sharing. I had a private client and she was doing a little workshop, and, you know, she's like, Felicia, what should I price this workshop as? And, you know, she's going through all the things that she was like providing and all these different things. And she's, you know, I have a price point that I think, you know, that stands out to me. And the price point was different than her price point. Right. Mm-hmm. So like what she was charging at and what I would have charged are quite different. So pricing is subjective. Pricing is based on experience. Pricing is based on what feels good for you. Right. So I want what's comfortable for you. So I want to challenge. That's why as a mentor, I'm never like, Amanda, this is what you should charge, because it might feel not good for you. Right. But we also, we take all the variables of like, if you're paying a team, you know, if you're having any costs that go out, if you're paying for ads, if you're doing any of those things, we have to obviously create some feasible variables. But if you're just a one-man show and you're like, gosh, I have this amazing offer, what should I price it as? I love high ticket because you don't have to focus on volume. But I also think, again, back to customer journey, having a customer journey where you have like I call it your, you know, like your initial offer that you have that's free, that kind of just brings people in the lowest hanging fruit. Then you have your mid tier, and then you have your high ticket, which is typically your signature program. So I always tell people, you know, price point is so subjective. There is going to be a customer for every price point. What one person sees as expensive, someone sees as completely affordable and a deal and a steal, right? So I always tell people, get your money mindset strong. Read some books on money mindset, start working on your money mindset, start challenging some of your money mindset beliefs, because you can create incredible wealth if you're open and you feel deserving of it. But if you feel guilty of charging certain prices, or if you feel like you got to give in order to give value, like there's some disconnect there. So I always tell people right from the get-go, get really strong with money mindset. Start reading some books around money mindset. I love the Secrets of a Millionaire. Love that book. I love Rich as F by Amanda Francis. I love You Are a Badass at Money, Making Money, Jensen Sincero. And just start getting into the money mindset as you're starting to create some of these things. And then ask yourself, what feels really good for me? You know, does this feel worth it for me? Does this feel like excited for me to get on the call with this person, for me to help them? Like, what feels really good? And then go from there, because prices can change. You're going to create more experience. You're going to do different things, but I would definitely get really good on your money mindset.
Yeah, I'll just kind of tap onto that. Like, who here charged a lot less than what they do now when they first started, right? I was definitely up there, but as you it was uncomfortable to ask for 2,000 or 5,000 or 10,000. You couldn't even fathom asking for that much money, because you'd probably giggle in a sales call asking for that much money at the start, right? But you had to build yourself up to that. So I think there's like the aspect of self-development is important, to be like, no, I'm worth that much money and I won't go under that, right? Yeah. Ashley, passing it off to you.
Be short and sweet with this. I have two core offerings. I have a high ticket and a low ticket. One's just more self-guided. And that's kind of more so for people who don't, want the extra coaching and the education. When I started growing on social media, there was a lot of demand for recipes and, the meals in the meal planner and workouts. And so I saw an opportunity to create something that was really low ticket that could kind of just work in the background. The meat and potatoes, though, of my offering is high ticket. That's like the one-on-one coaching. And I think, that's for people who want to make transformation, who want to learn, who have the time, the patience to make change. I started doing like more moderate ticket until the demand got there. If I had just kept doing that, I would have burnt out easily. So I think, going up high ticket, what these ladies said is finding a price that makes sense for you, and just kind of touching on pricing. Like, if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, like, what's your hourly? Find your hourly and work backwards from there. That really helped me price like what my time was worth for working with people and pricing.
Beautiful. I'll chime in that real quick. I went straight to high ticket because I didn't have a lot of followers and I needed to make money to provide for my partner who was sick at the time. And so doing a low ticket route would have taken me too long. So I just went straight for the high ticket. You need one sale to compensate for maybe 20 of a low ticket offer. And I didn't have the volume to be able to do that. So if you're in that position, high ticket, you just need one yes to basically be a game changer for the month.
And go all in. Go all in.
Yes.
Don't waver. Choose a price point, go all in. Don't waver. Like, stick to that price point and really see it out until you want to change. But like, don't waver if you can, because I've seen huge success with high ticket and I've seen people have huge success with low ticket, but you got to just like commit and go all in.
Yeah. I had a 2K offer. You need 5 people in a month. You just made 10K. Like, it goes by real quick. Well, Ashley, Felicia, Amanda, thank you very much for taking the time to be on this training. I'm going to end this like I end every group call and every podcast that I do. It's going to sound counterproductive, but everything that we talked about today is absolutely worthless unless you do something with the information. So pick one thing that resonated with you and take action on it. And everyone, thank you very much for listening. Ladies, thank you for jumping on.
Thank you.
Thanks.